what it is. It's all what I'll be where I want to be. I'll be where I want to be.
Hello, everyone. Hi, welcome to another edition of our online conversations with Juice, with juvenile career education. I'm Daniel DME. I'll be your host for today. I see that people are still joining, so we're just gonna wait a bit. Please feel free to mute my able host, please. Uh, yeah, so please let's not forget to mute ourselves. So yeah, while we have other people joining, you can introduce yourself, where you're from, your students, parents, and intending parents. Why not? Students' Day is just right around the corner. It's a reminder that I'm no longer fall in that category. I'm not sure when the switch happened. I think I can't remember actually, but some Monday maybe I'll be thinking a bit about that, depending on how work pans out. All right, so we're gonna wait for more people. I see that this person, Ede Nkemjika. Hello, hi guys. Um, yes, I'm sure that's your
Hello, good afternoon.
afternoon.
Can you hear me? Can I talk?
Yes, please proceed.
Oh, sorry. I am here with some kids um that know about Jews, and they're my neighbors practically at home. So I want them to also be benefiting from Jews. So so this one is nursery, this one is primary, then this is the main guy, he's in JSS1. So but they are here, they will participate. So introduce yourself.
Good morning, everybody.
Speak up.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Odukoya Clint.
Speak up.
Odukoya.
We can hear him, sir.
Okay.
Clinton, yes, we can hear you.
Clinton, it's
Hi,
nice to meet you. Hi.
Commander Secondary School.
Commander Secondary School. Okay.
That's
really good.
Just as one.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
So that is all. So this is Chil Kasima Adez. She's in pre-nursery. This one, I don't know if you can see her face. Then, what is your name? Introduce yourself. Speak up so that they will hear you.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
What is your name?
My name is Odukoya Elvis.
Okay.
Wow.
Hi,
Elvis.
You.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. Elvis is in primary school, right?
So he's in primary school. What class are you now?
Primary 3.
So he's in primary. So we are all participating, so we are all going to benefit from the session today. So yes, so I'm using my mic now.
Honorable. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, just hearing JS1 primary 3, it's bringing some memories. Nursery, I have very sparse memories of that, but yes, someone is drawing on this thing. What do you call it now? No, what do you call on the screen? All right, but it's fine. Thank you so much. It's good to see everyone. Is there any other person with children or from the school, please let us know. We'd love to meet you. We've met the folks from Command Day Secondary School. Clinton, Elvis, no, sorry, I'll just manage me like that. But nice. So we have adults here. I know we have Fumilola, Adirunke, Omofolawe, Samuel. Yes, we have Adizi too. Yes, not the speaker, but the baby one, the little cute one. So All right. We'll be starting any moment from now because time is very of important essence. This is a Saturday. Thank you everyone for taking out your time to show up here. Let me see. Yeah, so we're gonna start. Uh, can I proceed? Let me see the chats. Yeah, let me just let me see. We're waiting a bit. We'll have to start any moment from now. All right, I'll just keep on speaking and as people join. So I don't think I introduced myself earlier. Fully, I'm Daniel Adeyemi. Let me move the slides. Yes. So this is the program for today. And then we're going to be talking about like 7 things to do during your summer holiday. Now, when I was growing up in secondary school, I think I remember it being called, what do they call it again? Long break or something like that. It wasn't cute, it wasn't called summer holiday. It was, I forgot what we used to call it then. It was end of term holiday. So whatever you know, my point in saying that is that whatever you know it as, it's just the holiday after. Oh God, let me embarrass myself because when the school, the holiday that has August in it, I think it's from June or July to early September. I've been out of school for a while and it seems like the school agenda is focusing. But that long holiday that you have between one class and the other, or one level and the other, is what we are looking at. And yeah, I'm here. I'm a journalist and many other things. I'm happy to be here. Happy to have conversation. I'm also a trustee for Juice Africa. I'm one of the trustees. And why we're here is as a child, like people often ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I'm sure if you're like me, you probably gave many responses, thinking, even Omar or Samuel, I'm sure, except you're a unique breed, you must have said different things. At the point in time, I wanted to be a footballer. What else did I want to do again? At point in time, being a banker was attractive because there were uncles and aunties that it seemed like they were making it big, right? So, the thing about this thing is, for this career paths, this conversation frequently comes up during the holidays, and then sometimes there are opportunities to actually get better. Schoolwork is schoolwork, right? So you're going to school, you're learning curriculum, but when you're not in school, it's a good opportunity to actually learn, to actually prepare for it. So we believe that we're contributing to giving people clarity around this. So it's all about like giving people, equipping young people with the right information to be able to make the right decisions. At Juice Africa, it's really just better from the idea or from us saying that when it comes to answering this question, there are a couple of deficits, right? There are a couple of gaps. So like I said before, you want to be a banker because I have uncles and aunties, but then there's more to life than being a banker, right? Of course, I wanted to be a footballer because I enjoyed playing football. I mean, then I need also money, but it was really just fun, right? And also sometimes mentorship, put you talk to. Then secondary school has to rely on guardians and counselors, which they did their best, but let's just say their best was a bit limiting in some particular areas. And then oftentimes, universities and schools, people just say, study this, study that. So we've organized a couple of things from this fireside conversations to we'll be having internships, career fair, mentor mentee, one-on-one. So if you want to be aspire to going to a particular career path, you can talk to someone who's already there. So they can tell you what it's like because our ideas of a particular job and what the everyday looks like oftentimes are totally different. And then even we have upcoming university preparation programs. So there's a lot for everyone. So there are different ways, like Mr. Eve Nkemjika, right? So he's here attending and he brought some kids. So lovely, right? So every 2 weeks we'll be having a couple of events that we'll share at the end of today's session, you get a sense of the events we have coming up. But you can just count 2 weeks and you'll be sure that you see something. You follow us on social media, just check for us, Juice Africa, you see us there. You can become a member, a mentor, a sponsor, a career partner. Tell everybody, bring people. Yeah, we're happy to have everyone here. And for today's talk, drum rolls. So, for today, we're going to be talking about a special topic that I mentioned earlier. And we have me, we have our, I mean, Africans like titles, but she doesn't like that. So we have Adeze Okeke, right, who is the founder of Juice Africa. She's many other things, but she said, you know what, skip all of that and focus on who I am as a person, right? So I'm very passionate about impacting young people, just thinking about, oh, how can I actually help people make better decisions? How can I give people the knowledge and skills that um, she didn't have, although I think she had a very good upbringing. But yeah, so I'll let her speak and she can always connect to her journey, right? So she'll be talking about 7 things to do during your summer holiday. So I will pass the mic to her and let her take over.
Okay, so thank you so much, Daniel, for that nice introduction. Thank you everybody who is here. Like I said during the last meeting 2 weeks ago, but I'll just say it again. Our numbers here might look few, but don't be discouraged by that. The beautiful thing about what we do is that this is recorded, and currently we have a few schools and a few institutions that are partnering with us, so they go ahead and watch some of these recordings later. So I say that to say, please engage with the presentation, even if you're a parent or a student. Engage in the conversation in such a way that you know that you're supporting a secondary school person or a young person who is going to be making some career decisions in future, right? So today's topic is titled 7 Things to Do During Your Long Vacation, Your Long Holiday, Summer Holiday. I know some schools call it summer holiday, right? I've come across some Lagos schools that call it summer holidays. Some call it long vacation, some call it long holiday. Whatever it is, I think it's that holiday between July till September, right? So ending of July towards the early September, that's when you start. And what this is usually characterized by is you come back after an academic year. So if last year you were in SS1, this year you are going into SS2. So we have the Command Day Secondary School student here who is in JSS1. So by the end of this term, you'll be going into JSS2, right? So what do you do with that time between that July to September? Usually, what we have is that the typical Nigerian parents thing to do is that we send the kids to summer lessons. Usually those summer lessons, next slide, please. Usually those summer lessons are about 3 months, 2.5 months. So for a child, you're coming back from school after a long term. If you're in boarding house, it's even a bit more chaotic, so you're coming back from school after 3 months, in fact, after 9 months of studying, right? Because you've been in school for the whole year. And now you're having to go back again to summer school. The only difference now is that you don't wear school uniforms. You wear your muff, we used to call it mufti, but your clothes are home and you go to school, so instead of seeing your friends from your secondary school, maybe you see some new friends from other schools. So why is this topic important? Why is it important that we address this, almost like a cultural heritage we have, where what we do is to just have kids going into summer school? Why is it important? Well, number one, the present model we have where we just ship kids into these summer schools focuses a lot on academics. Focus on academics is always a good thing. It's always a very important thing. But if you've been studying for 3 whole months you've graduated, you've graduated or not graduated, you've been promoted to the next class, going into school again for three months during your holiday, it's it can be a bit stressful or boring. But we have it here. If you look on the screen, we have it here in green as a positive, because focus on academics is never a bad thing. And then why is this topic important is that the present model where we have does not leave a lot of room for focus on personal development, right? So how are you growing as a person? Personal development for the children who are here, it means how you're improving yourself, how you're growing as a person. It doesn't leave room a lot for you to grow. You finish doing math and English during secondary school, you come during the summer lesson, again, it's math and English, it's biology, it's physics, it's into science, it's the same thing you've been doing for 3 months before that you're doing again during a holiday. It also doesn't leave a lot of room for rest, because again, you're waking up, school is at 9 a.m. So you're waking up again at maybe 6 a.m., showering, breakfast, you go to summer school. Again, it doesn't leave room for you to just rest. It's a holiday, you should rest. But the present thing we do doesn't leave room for that. It doesn't leave room for fun. There's no opportunity to have a lot of fun. And contrary to what many of our parents will want us to believe, fun is very important. Having fun is great. Having fun is important. Of course, everything has to be done in moderation, but fun is important, So it doesn't leave room for a lot of fun, a lot of recreation, a lot of flexibility. Daniel, the slide is a bit blurred. So yeah, it doesn't leave room for a lot of that, which is not good, In fact, it's scientifically proven that a child needs fun and recreation to grow and to learn and to develop. So again, our present model doesn't leave room for that. And then there's no intentionality. It's, there's no, what is Elvis interested in? Let's see. Okay, if Elvis likes drawing, okay, maybe during this holiday, let's see if we can help him improve his drawing. There's no intentionality. It's just, okay, every child go to summer school. So as you see on the screen, there are 4 negatives against 1 positive. And even that positive, I can even put it almost in red, because, again, there's that need for your brain to have a small break. Even if you're doing something academic, to engage your brain in other things, so that's why this topic is important. And next slide, please. And that's one of the major reasons why Juice is here. Juice is very committed to you using both your academic year, both your holiday, both, every time of your life. Juice is committed to you developing and thinking about your career in a way that is intentional. We want to make sure that you're utilizing your holiday in a way that will benefit you, not just for today, right? But also for your future. We want you to be thinking about your holiday in a more exciting way, So that's why Juice is here. So next slide. So the topic is 7 things you should do during your long holiday. And we are number 1, which is number 1 is mandatory. Number 1 is important. Number 1 is a must do. Okay. At the end of this academic year in July, when your school breaks, the first thing you should do is to sit down and to reflect. Okay, so reflection means to just sit down and think, to just think about, the past, the future, what you want to do. Okay, so if I were you, Nkem, could you remind me of the name of the secondary school students? Because he's on the call, so this will be very important for him. I think his name is Clinton. Sorry? Clinton. Okay. Yeah, Clinton. Okay. So Clinton, if I were you, what I'll do at the end of this year, by the time July comes, is to sit down, okay? sit down and think about, okay, what did I enjoy? What was I happy about last term? You know, what subject did I do well in? What subject did I excel in? What subject did I have A1s in? Okay, what am I happy about? What makes me excited? Like, was I part, were you, or what extracurricular did I do that I really enjoyed? So extracurricular like drama club, or literary and debating society, or science club, music club, whatever club you are in, what did you enjoy about last term, right? And then what did you not enjoy? So what subject did you fail? You know, and we're going to have a talk next year about failure. You know, failing something is not a bad thing. You know, what matters is how you deal with it when you fail it, you know. So what subject did you fail, or what subject did you were expecting an A or a B and you got a C or a D, you know? So what subject did you struggle with? What subject was it that even if you got that B, it was a struggle for you, you know? What subject was that? And what does this mean for you? You know, so what does it mean that, okay, you say, for example, today, oh, I'm thinking of being a doctor when I grow up, but you're struggling with science, you're struggling with biology, right? What does that mean for you in the long run? You know, long run means 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What does that mean for you? Okay. And what does that mean for you in the short run? AKA, what does that mean for you next term or next 2 terms? You know, or what does this mean for you going into JSS2? Okay. What does it mean for you that if you keep failing the subject, or if you keep not getting the grades you want, what does it mean for you? In the short run, it could mean that, oh, you know, you might not be. So when you're in JSS1, by the time you're going to JSS3 or to senior school, they will say, oh, you're not doing well in these subjects, you shouldn't go into science class, right? That's the typical thing a guidance counselor will tell you. In the long run, it could mean that you tell yourself, I'm not doing that well in biology, in science classes. Maybe I should then go to I don't know, another course, right? But what you want to do is to do sciences. What you want to do is to be a doctor. So what reflecting means just thinking. And when I say reflect, you don't have to make it a big elaborate thing. It can just be on your way back from school or your first few days of your holiday to just think, you know, to just say, what did I like? What did I not like? You know, and then to make a plan, right? So to make a plan for your summer, right? So during this summer, during this 3-month holiday you have, it's a long time, 3 months. What do you want to do differently, right? So that you can, number one, improve on those courses you did not do so well, or number two, even improve if you were having A's and you had 75 A, now you want to have an 80. Okay, what can you do differently? The next thing to do is to plan for your, you know, how can I have fun this holiday? How can I make sure? Because I think one thing that happens is when you're in school, you're so stressed with, oh, reading, oh, you have to pass, you have to do this assignment, you have to do this test, you have to do the exams, you know, all of those things. So there's not always a lot of time for fun. And I remember that time I would always tell myself, during my holiday, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this, because you're not able to do it during the school year. But many times during your holiday, you forget, or you're doing summer lessons. So there's no space for that. So the point is, plan for something that will make you have fun, for something that will make you rest, and for something that will rejuvenate you, right? And then you plan for the future, you know, what can I do today that will set me up for the future? There's something in the Bible that says that there's no point of you looking at yourself in the mirror and you see that your hair is scattered, or, you know, there's a big, you know, something on your face, and you just say, I'm going out like that. You know, the point of reflecting is so that you can change something, you can improve something, you can plan on how to improve something. Okay. So I took a lot of time to say this because that's the first part, and it's very important. You should do it. It's a mandatory, okay? It sets you up for the rest of this presentation, but more than that, it sets you up for the rest of your holiday. If possible, write it down when you think about it like this, okay? Next slide, please. Okay, then number two, the second thing you can do, okay, is to do an internship or to volunteer, right? Internships are very important. And just on the slide, we have reasons why you should do internships. You know, the next slide talks about reasons why you should volunteer. But let me just tell you the very best reason for you to do an internship. Okay, you're young, you're in secondary school. Today you think, like Daniel said, today he's like, I want to be a footballer. Tomorrow, I want to be a banker. Next tomorrow, I want to do accounting. You know, all of that. Internship is a very good way for you to explore that thing you're interested in. Okay, so if you're thinking, I want to be a doctor, okay, tell your parents and parents that are here as well, you know, try to get your child, and it doesn't have to be a long time, you know, and this is why planning is important, so that you can do many of these things as much as possible. You know, plan to go into a 1 week, 2 week internship into that area you're interested in. So are you interested in being a banker? Are you interested in being a doctor? Are you interested in being a footballer? With footballers, it might be a bit tough, but the idea is try to do an internship in that area, okay? And you go, so if, for example, you want to be a lawyer, go to law courts and just sit and listen, or go to a law firm that is around your where you live, and just tell them that, can you come in for 1 week and observe them as they work? What this does for you already is that if you were thinking you wanted to be a lawyer before, you can go to court and realize, I don't enjoy this. Or you can go to court and realize, oh my God, this is so exciting. I love it, you know? And what this automatically does for you, it boosts your CV, it boosts your confidence. It makes you certain about the decisions you want to make. You're excited about the decisions you've made for your life and for your future. So it's exciting for you that you know that, oh, okay, you know what, I'm confident I want to be a lawyer, you know, I'm confident I want to be a doctor, I'm confident I want to be a banker because I've gone into a bank, I've observed what they do, and I like what they do. Okay, so Juice is also very committed to helping you get some of these internships depending on where you live, right? So next slide is also about the importance of volunteering. And I just want to say volunteering, so internships, usually the idea between internships and volunteering is internships you're paid, volunteering you're not paid, but also volunteering usually speaks to a social cause. So you look around your community, you look around you, there's something wrong or there's something not as it should be, you know, how can you improve that thing? So you can volunteer with an organization like Juice, or you can volunteer by yourself, you know. And I want to say this because it's important in relation to volunteering, okay? Many times when you're trying to get into universities, especially those outside the country, they require you to write essays on why you want to, you know, why you want to study with them. Everybody that is applying to many of those top universities, they have excellent grades already. They have good grades. Everybody applying already has A1s. They scored high scores. All of them went to school. What sets you apart is what type of things you've been doing with your time outside of your academics, okay? What sets you apart is being able to say, oh, I've interned in XYZ place and I gained XYZ knowledge, and that makes me confident I want to do this, okay? What sets you apart is to say, oh, I noticed that there were some primary school students around me who needed help with maybe counting or with math, or with nursery school students who around me who during the holiday did not have anything to do. So I put together a small holiday thing for us to work together so they can learn, you know. What sets you apart is saying, oh, I noticed that, you know, outside of my street, there's a lot of trash outside. So I asked my parents, and with the support of my parents, I started a thing where we clean the streets every XYZ day, you know. what sets you apart is being able to say those things that other people don't have that experience, because everyone has gone to school. Everyone has A1s. Everyone has good grades. What sets you apart is what are you doing outside of school? So really think about what internships you want to do. Really think about ways you can volunteer. I say that Nigeria is a society that unfortunately is plagued with a lot of problems. But what that also means is that we have a lot of opportunity to make change. There's a lot of opportunity for you to find something that will make you useful, okay? Even volunteering in church. I know someone who is gotten into university, one of the top universities, based on he volunteered in Sunday school. So he will help to pack chairs, sweep the hall, make sure everything is neat. And that shows that you're committed, you can be trusted, all of those types of things. So again, these are all the reasons why, internships and volunteering is good for you. So budget 1 week, 2 weeks from your holiday, a month if possible, depending on if you're volunteering with an organization, Google organizations around you, use the internet don't just be on the phone scrolling away, use the internet for your own good. So check for organizations around you who do things you're interested in, and just tell your parents that are here, just, I always say that there's something my dad used to do. When I would apply for internships, nobody would get back to me. We are notorious in Nigeria for not responding to emails, So what my dad would do is, once I'm home for the holiday, he will just drive me in his car and we go to the office of the person and we say, oh, we need to see the MD. Do you have an appointment? No. Why do you want to see him? Oh, my daughter is here. I want my daughter to intern. Sometimes they tell you, MD is not around, come back, this. My father will say, don't worry, I'll wait. And we will stay there till whenever the MD comes or whoever is next in command, and I get an internship and I get to volunteer, right? I say this a lot, that I've done a lot of volunteering at home in Nigeria. So, and this is how I've gotten some of them, So if you write to them, if you email them, nobody answers you, no problem. Go there and ask them, So these are some of the ways, these are some of the things you can do that will set you apart. And also they will be exciting because it's completely different from opening a biology textbook again to read, or being in summer school, reading again or studying again, So next slide, please. The third thing to do is to pick up a new thing, a new interest. So if normally you like reading books a lot, so pick up hone an interest. Hone an interest is different from picking up something new. Honing an interest requires you to almost to just say, what am I interested in, or what can I be interested in? So if maybe you thought about it, you're interested in maybe music, what musical instrument do I want to learn? Or you can say, okay, I know computers are a big deal now, technology is a big deal. Can I learn during this my holiday to program? Can I learn during this my holiday to do content creation? Can I learn during this my holiday to do something new, something different, The importance of, next slide, please. The importance of this is that, it opens up your brain, right? It opens up your brain to like a whole new world that was completely outside of your world before, okay? And by opening up your brain in that way, and first of all, when you're developing a new skill or you're picking up a new interest, it requires you to, you set a goal. Okay, by the end of this holiday, I want to learn to play the piano, or even play the piano is far. I want to learn to play Mary Had a Little Lamb on the piano, I think it's one of the simplest and one of the easiest. So you set a goal, you practice. Doing all of that puts you in a position where you're learning something new. You're pushing yourself, you're challenging yourself. Your experience, your insights into things, they are expanding. And again, from a perspective of what sets you apart, this is what sets you apart from someone who has focused on school and is getting all A1s. Being able to say in, when applying for schools or even in a conversation with anybody, being able to say, oh yeah, I play the piano. I learned how to play the piano when I was 7, when I was 10, when I was 15, when I was 9. This is what sets you apart, and you can pick up the interest and you try it for the holiday. You're like, I don't like it too much. No problem. But the point is you've tried something and you've explored something outside of your comfort zone. Okay, so next slide, please. And then the next one is to, learn a new hobby, develop an interest. So the other one is to, pick up something that you were already good at. And this one is to learn something new. I put it here that, use the internet in a way that serves you and helps you. Don't let the internet distract you. And I put it here because many times, and this happens not even just when you're a child, but even as adults, we are just endlessly on our phones scrolling. You jump from TikTok to Instagram to Twitter to YouTube, and you're just watching videos and laughing, ha 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 ha. And before you know it, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours have passed, but you've not learned anything that will change your life, that will impact your life, So pick up something new. The internet is filled with all sorts of things that are free. There are apps like Duolingo that you can learn a language. So if you take French in school, and in fact, you were even struggling with French, or maybe you did not like it, go on Duolingo, learn a language. You can decide, oh, I want to learn, how to code or how to do anything with the computer. You go on YouTube, and I promise you, if you type how to do XYZ, you'll see 500 videos on that thing where you can learn. Okay, so use the internet in a way that will serve you, in a way that will enrich you, and in a way that will make sure that you're growing. Again, taking it back to why it's important. Next slide, please. Taking it back to why it's important, it will keep you curious. The fact that you're learning something new, something you haven't learned before, it keeps you curious. It makes you interesting. If you're talking to someone and you say, oh, I'm learning how to do XYZ thing. Oh, that's exciting. It opens rooms for conversation. It improves your brain function. Sometimes when you're doing it, if you're learning a new thing, even if you're not learning it on the computer, maybe if you decide, oh, during this holiday, I want to learn how to sew. It opens up your network to a whole new group of people that you would not have known if you were just, doing summer lessons, or if you were just in, just not doing anything productive, it boosts your confidence as well, because now oh, I went from not knowing anything about, French or Chinese or, how to, data science, anything. I went from having zero knowledge to having this amount of knowledge, so it makes you feel proud of yourself. It improves your confidence. And more than anything, again, it's what sets you apart, and I know we don't like to think about it like this, but and it doesn't matter whether or not you think today, oh, university is too far. That time will pass and you'll be there and you have to make a decision. And what sets you apart is these skills you gain along the way. Okay, so next slide. And the number 5 thing to do, and I put this as number 5, knowing that I started off by saying, don't just throw yourself, or don't, as parents, please don't just throw kids into summer classes. Have a plan for their holiday, have a plan for their long holiday. And I call this the mind the gap learning. If you go to London, okay, and you're in a train, before you board the train, this is literally how the train looks like. You see, usually they announce it, mind the gap, right? If you look at this train, you see that there's a gap between that train and where you're standing. If you're not careful, you can put your leg and twist your leg. And if the train starts moving, that's bye-bye to your leg. Okay? So mind the gap learning. Next slide, please. Mind the gap learning is for you to look and to see, okay, like you've reflected at the beginning, oh, I did not do very well in this subject, okay? Mind the gap learning is taking even 1 hour every day or every 2 days, because it's your holiday, so you also have to rest. So you're doing all sorts of things that, you know, exciting you, you're learning something new, you know, you're resting, you know. So it doesn't have to be something where you're in the summer school for 3 months. It's you just telling yourself the truth to say, Clinton, you know that you did not do well in math last year. You know you struggled with French, you know, last year. You know that maybe you passed because you asked someone what's number 5 and they told you, you know that that's the case. So this is the current condition. The current condition is what's happening today, okay? And then the target condition is where do you want to be, okay? What do you want to be? Where do you want to be? So if before you're getting 50 over 100, so barely passing, but where you really want to be is, you know, I want to be getting 70. I want to be getting 75. I want to have a B. I want to have an A. Then what you should focus on is how can I improve this gap? How can I improve this subject, you know? And that means that maybe you don't need to go to summer lessons for the whole 3 months. Maybe that just means you pick up your book for last term, your French book, your biology book, your inter-science book, whatever course that is, and you sit down and you just read. And you don't read it as though your life, you know, because when you're in school, you're reading for a test, you're reading for an exam, and you're reading with anxiety and a lot of worry in your heart. Don't read it that way this time. Just pick it up and read it as if you're reading a storybook and you just want to learn. You know, you just want to know. You just want to know when they say, oh, pancreatic juice. What does pancreatic juice do? If they say, oh, the liver, the this, what does that actually mean? You know, how does that relate to your real life? How can you, what's the gap? What's that gap? You know, then you try to fill it in. By doing that, you automatically already understand the material that you've done before, and it sets you up for next time. Because if you don't understand what they've done before, by the time they go next year to start talking about something else, the one you did not understand before and this new one they're talking about, you're just completely confused, you know? So 1 hour every day doesn't have to be a lot of time. Take some time to think, okay, what is it that I didn't understand last year? Maybe when last year they taught you differentiation and integration, it just flew over your head. I know when I was in secondary school, probability, there was no way they wanted to explain probability that it's like in my head, I'm like, okay, I get it, the probability of this. But the minute I see a question of probability, you know, they will say and, or this, it will just fly over my head. I'm just like, what's happening? You know? So if it's that probability, let's say you even got B in mathematics, so A, you know you did well, but you see that topic on probability, you do not know anything that we're talking about. And when you were in the exam hall, all you were praying for was, God, let probability not come out. God, let probability not come out, okay? Go and learn that probability. And if you learn probability alone, if you open your textbook, if you need support, you know, asking your parents, or I know there are some parents that will even be willing to get you lesson teachers. And it then doesn't have to be, oh, lesson for the whole summer. It's just for you to say, oh, mommy, daddy, I struggled with this thing. Or you see this subject I did not pass very well. I know the reason. It's because of this topic. And you see this topic, I did not understand it. And I'm confident that if I learn this topic, I will do better. You know, that's mind the gap learning. Next slide, please. And that's the way you plug holes in maybe what you did not know before, and then it sets you up for your next academic year, okay? So next slide, Daniel. So I just put this picture here, this puzzle. So imagine, look at yourself as though you're this puzzle, okay? when you're looking at this puzzle now, you see that this person has completed some of them. They're already complete. You know, it looks nice. It's coming together. But you see that there are still some pieces out there that haven't really fit in. They haven't really blended in somewhere. And those pieces are those gaps in your knowledge, those things you don't know yet. Instead of focusing on, you know, going back to all of these ones you fit before, focus on those things you don't know. Focus on those things that you want to plug in, you know, and even just in the context of this whole presentation or this whole topic, okay? Your academics are one piece of the puzzle, okay? But your personal development, okay, what new thing have I learned this holiday? What new skill? What thing am I already good at, but I got better at? So another thing is sports. You know, many kids do not know that many institutions, especially in the US, give sports scholarships. So if you're a runner, if you used to run in school, and now you're thinking, maybe how will I even get to do all these things she's saying? Oh, study abroad, opportunity outside the country, but you run. You just don't know that it's possible for a school to say, Clinton runs so well that I'll give him money to come to my school to study and be running for the school. Okay? It's during this time it's during your holiday that you make those type of plans and that you try to get better to be in a position where, okay, XYZ school is going to want to give me scholarships because I've learned this skill, I've learned that thing, I've learned this other thing. Okay, so see yourself as this puzzle and focus on filling yourself in, focus on growing yourself in areas that you've not yet, you know, there's, oh, you know, it would be nice to know a musical instrument. I don't play any musical instrument. Maybe one musical, and I know in junior secondary school, many of us learn how to play the flute. I never learned how to play it. It was the hardest thing. I did not enjoy music classes because of that. So maybe this is the time to practice, you know? So focus on filling in yourself in these ways, you know. Next slide. And number 6 is preparing for your future. Juice is incredibly passionate about this. Juice is the name of our NGO. I know many times we say juice, juice, juice. I said, what does it mean? Juice is the NGO. Juice is this institution and this organization, okay? Many times we know, especially as Nigerians, we love last minute. It's last minute. That's what we love, you know? But we know, as a Clinton knows today now, every secondary school child knows today that to get into a Nigerian university, you need to take JAM. You know you need to take JAM. You cannot escape it. There's no other way of doing it. You need to take JAM. In fact, some schools, you need to take post-JAM. You know, for example, that if you want to study outside the country, so for example, in the US, you need to do SATs. And I put SAT here and I emphasize the US because that's for the most part, many of the global scholarships and opportunities are there, but those are not the only countries. Sorry, that is not the only country, okay? Another thing to do during this time, just like you do mind the gap learning, and you try to do it in a way that is fun and easy, and it's not filled with anxiety of, hey, God, I need to pass this test, I need to pass this test, is to start preparing for the future. Start preparing for JAM today. Get the past papers of these SAT books. In fact, sometimes you don't even need to get past papers. Sometimes you go online and you see some websites that have some of these things, trial versions that you can just use to practice, you know? So again, it doesn't have to be anything too heavy. You know, 1 hour every 2 days is fine. You know, for Clinton that you're in junior secondary school, it still feels like a long time away. So if you want even 1 hour a week, just to say, what's even in this? Let me see. Okay, you know, what's in this? Okay, that makes sense. I can do it. If you're in senior secondary school, in fact, from SS1, genuinely 1 hour every day or every 2 days is not too much. What this does is that by the time you get to SS3, in fact, there are people who take JAM in SS2 and SATs in SS2 to prove to themselves that I'm ready. So by taking time to practice 1 hour every 2 days, 1 hour a day, what that means is, number one, you're not studying under pressure. You don't have that pressure of, oh, I'm going to pass an exam, I need to do well. You're not studying under pressure. You have time to, any subject it is. So if you know you for JAM, you have to take math, English, biology, and physics, okay? And you see that, okay, math, I'm good. Biology, I'm good. English, I'm good. But you see this physics, I don't understand anything going on. Now you know that your focus has to be in physics. But guess what? You've given yourself a 2-year head start. You've given yourself 3 years in advance to think about it like this, instead of waiting till SS3, when you know that within 3 months, I have to enter university. You now start running, okay, jam. Okay, so by the time you're in SS, in fact, if you take it seriously, you know that by the time you're in SS2, if you write JAM, you get top scores. If you write SATs, you get top scores, okay? So that's the way to think about it. Think about it in a, how can I learn? How can I prepare for my future in a way that, you know, it's not rush work. It's not, okay, let's do it. I have 2 weeks. I have 3 weeks. I have 1 month, okay? Research what schools you're interested in. For example, Unilag, and I want to study law. What score do I need to get in JAM to get into Unilag law? If you're interested in studying outside the country, XYZ University, research, what do they need me to get? What score do they need me to get to be able to get into the school? Again, I say this, make it fun for yourself. You can get a friend and both of you are doing it together, okay? If possible, again, go online and search somebody that's currently in uni. Let's say you don't know anybody around you that went to Unilag or went to University of Ife or UNN, you know, or, you know, any school, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, any school you want to go to. If you don't have anyone around you, go online and type Nigerian Oxford graduate, Nigerian Unilag graduate. You will see somebody and you can reach out and ask questions. Oh, I'm currently in SS2. I'm currently in SS1. I'm currently in JSS1, but I'm very passionate about getting into this school. You see, this is the school I want. What do I need to know? How do I need to start preparing myself? You know, so these are the things to do during your holiday instead of just, you know, just being again in summer school and learning the thing that, you know, they'll teach you for the first 2-3 weeks you get into school. You know, instead of doing that, prepare for your future in this way that makes it smooth sailing. So by the time you're coming out of secondary school, you're not worrying, where am I going? You don't have that 1 year, 2 years, you stay at home and rewrite JAMB again because your first score was not good. And then the second score is usually not even as good as the first one. So you now stay another 1 year. That's where you now start saying, okay, maybe I should do one small job on the side. Maybe I should do this. No, prepare for it in advance so that you don't have to be in that place when that time comes, okay? And number 7 thing to do, last but not the least, next slide, please, is to visit a new place or to meet at least one new person. And depending on the finances of your parents, it could be that you visit a new country, okay? Or it can be that you have an auntie that lives in Lagos, but you currently live in Enugu, and it's an auntie that your mom trusts, or as a mother, a sister that you trust, a brother you trust, visit a new state. Or if you currently live at Enugu and you live at GRA, but you've never visited, okay, this is a test of my geography. You've never visited another part of Enugu. Go visit, you know, go to a museum, go to an arts gallery, go to somewhere new, somewhere you've never been before. Have a new experience. And if possible, meet a new friend. You know, I know what's typical is you go to secondary school, especially if you're in boarding house, you go to secondary school, you come back, and then you see your friends that you've seen your friends before you went to school. You guys spend the holiday again, and then you go back to school. Meet a new friend. Again, be careful when you're meeting new friends. Make sure it's someone that is a good, you know, good friend, good person. go to a new place. Again, make sure that it's somewhere that, you know, it's a good place to go to. When I say go to a new place, I don't mean go to a, I don't want to give ideas, but go to somewhere that opens up your mind. Go to somewhere that educates you. Go to somewhere that, and when I say educates you, I don't even mean it from the perspective of like, oh, now you know that 1 + 1 is this or this and this. No, it could just be random knowledge. But, oh, okay. Oh, I visited the War Museum and now I now understand better when we are doing government, what happened during the Civil War in Nigeria. I even saw the guns that were used. I saw this, I saw that. Or you visit an art gallery and you say, oh, or a pottery place. Oh, now I know what it takes to make these these vases that we see. You know, I know how they make it. What this does for you, again, is to give you a completely new experience, is to make you see a completely new world. When you meet a new person, you're having a different discussion or conversation from what you usually have. You know, you're seeing the world. You know, I have it here. The world is too big to leave unexplored. You know, so see it. And I know, again, from a very Nigerian context, we are very protective of our children. You know, you want to go here, your parents say, oh, no, don't go there, don't do this. But it's very important to be in that position where you're curious. You know, stay curious, stay curious. You know, oh, what happens there? Oh, what is this that happens? Again, it makes you a very interesting person. It exposes you, it opens up your world. You know, and you might even be shocked that depending on where you visit, you suddenly find that you have an interest, you have a new hobby, you have a new skill that you're interested in gaining, you have something new that you want to try out, you know. So yeah, so these are some of the top 7 things I think you should do. Of course, depending on what that thing is, you know, there are all sorts of ways you can achieve that. So, okay, you want to learn how to code or to program, you can either do it on YouTube. So you go online on YouTube, you find things, or there can be a coding or programming school near to you and you decide, okay, for this summer, that's what I want to do. Okay. Or you want to learn how to sew for the holiday. Okay, if there is a tailor or like a sewing school next to you, you can go there. You know, so those are the different things you can do and the different ways that those are different things you can do and the different ways you can explore for your holiday. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to ask if there are any thoughts and any questions. And yes, any questions? Clinton, Elvis, I think you guys are the 2 children on the group. And any other person who has a question, feel free to ask. We usually have a lot of questions though during our questions and answer session. So yeah, feel free. Any questions? And if you're watching this and you're watching the recorded version, so you're watching it on YouTube, feel free to drop your question in the chat, you know, and ask, you know, or tell your parents you want to send an email if you already don't know how to send emails. Again, this is why it's important to watch things like this. You're already developing yourself by
Good
learning
morning.
email.
I have a question.
Hi.
Good morning, everyone.
Hi. Good morning.
Okay. I wanted to ask, how do we convince our parents to allow us learn a skill during summer, during long holidays? Because now our parents believe in summer school, but from this teaching, I have come to understand that it is not just about summer school. We also have to develop ourselves also. So how do we convince our parents to allow us learn a skill instead?
Okay, that's a really good question. And I know this sounds like a cop-out, but the first thing to do, you see, the very first thing to do, if you attended our session last 2 weeks, our actress who spoke to us, Uche, she said that doing well in school is non-negotiable. See, if you come back from school and you've done very well, okay? And when I say you've done very well, it could be that, oh, before you were having C, D, E in a course, and this year you've pushed it to B, okay? Convincing your parents gets easier because you say, no, mommy, don't worry, I'm improving. I know I'm confident, I'm improving, okay? Like, I know that if you already have good grades, it's easy to say, oh, no, maybe they don't even feel the need to push you, because many times parents feel the need to push you because, oh, maybe your grades are not good. Oh, you're struggling with, I know, for example, I struggled a lot with math. So what my dad wanted to do was to make sure that with math, I was very prepared. And that's why I say mind the gap learning. You see that math I struggled with, I spent my time during the holidays learning the math. But I think one thing to do is to start from now to make sure that this exam you're about to take, make sure you do your best. It's first term, second term, third term, you've had some shaky courses, or sorry, not courses, subjects. Make sure first term, second term, you've had some subjects you were, shaking. Make sure this third term, you work so hard and you improve it. You say, mommy, see, and we have a talk coming up on how you can improve, if you're struggling with a subject, how you can improve. But it's not rocket science. Again, it's giving more attention to it. 1 hour every day, practicing that thing. You struggle with, practice it, because there's the word that says practice makes perfect. You practice, so that's the first step, having very good grades. But the second step is to, if you watch this video, you internalize it, you go, you sit down, you plan, okay? Because when you're planning from the perspective of not just, oh, how can I have fun this summer, but how can I make sure I better my life and my future, right? So when you're convincing your mom, you're convincing your dad, is to tell them, mommy, daddy, there's this NGO we work with, and they were telling us, from the perspective of preparing for school, from the perspective of preparing for uni, that these are some of the things I have to do. These are some of the ways I have to improve myself. That these days, though, it's not just about academics, having 10 A's, going to school. There are so many other things that you're required to have that make you stand out. I want to spend this holiday making myself better, standing out in those ways, okay? If you're still struggling, you send them this video. That's a very good way. You send them the video, you get them in touch with someone in JUICE, you try, okay? But if all happens and they still send you to summer school, right? Again, like we shared during our last meeting, what you can do is now to say, okay, if I come back from summer school, what are some of the things I can be doing to improve myself? Okay, so if you come back from summer school and they're teaching you math, science, biology that you will do in future, okay, I will make sure that every Saturday, 1 hour, maybe in the morning, so that I have the rest of my day to play, to rest, I'll just pick up a jam book and I'll try and explore. I'll try and learn. Or the Saturday, your parents cannot tell you, oh, no, now there's summer lesson. No, Saturday, it's okay, mommy, if I do this on Saturday or in the evenings as I'm coming back from summer lesson, can I practice? Can I go to XYZ person's tailoring shop, or can I go to XYZ place to learn a skill, to learn something? Okay, so the first thing to do is to try and, number one, get good grades. It's easier for your parents to listen to you when they know that you can do it. It's not if you're failing every subject, you're struggling, they won't listen. Number two, try and convince them on the importance for you, not just for today, but for your future. You send them the video, you try convince them, it doesn't work out, no problem. The third thing to do is now to, again, try and find a way that, okay, you have to go to summer lesson, but what are 2? So I've listed 7 things. Okay, maybe I will do 2 out of these 7. It's better than nothing. What is one volunteering thing I can do? All of us, or many children, our parents make us go to church or any religious institution. Okay, maybe I'll volunteer there to, help the little ones get into their classes. Maybe I'll volunteer there to sweep and to clean. Maybe I'll volunteer there to be part of XYZ club that they have, maybe drama club, maybe this. Maybe I'll volunteer there for those things, okay? So it's to find a way to still explore some of these things, even if you have to be shipped off to summer lesson, okay? So I hope that answers your question, Debbie. Yeah, any other questions? I saw something in the chat. Okay, there's someone in SS3 with Samuel joining the meeting. Oh, okay, hi, SS3 students. Samuel, if you can unmute yourself and he can introduce himself, that would be great as well.
Okay, yes. Okay, I'm trying to video myself.
Oh, okay.
How do I get it?
There's the video button, but he can already start speaking. It's just to, you know.
Okay, okay, so you can. Okay, just say hi. Just say hi.
Okay,
my
your
name is
name.
Israel.
Israel?
Yeah.
Okay, Israel, it's nice to meet you. You're in SS3.
Yes, ma'am.
What school are you in? You're showing us your feet, by the way. Take your camera. What school are you in?
Victory High School.
Oh, okay. So I don't know how many of the things you've listened to, how many minutes ago you joined us, but you know, these are, I think you're in SS3, so you're already at a critical time where you should be thinking about your future. So I really want to encourage you to, you know, listen to some of, Samuel can direct you to where we have our videos and our recordings, listen to some of these things to help you get direction on, okay, what course to study, you know, how to study those courses, you know, how to get there, what universities to explore, how to get to those universities. You know, the thing I said about JAM and SAT classes, they are the most important things to you in this presentation, okay? So practice, practice, practice.
Practice, practice, practice.
Sorry, put yourself in a position where you're not so unaware. Yeah, so
Yeah.
but thank you for joining, Israel. Thank you for joining, and I'm sure if possible, give your number to Samuel, and Samuel will connect you with us, and you know, we can support you even in those university applications and all of those things. So yeah. If there are no other questions, any other questions? Okay. If there are no other questions, we can call it a wrap. I will hand over back to Daniel, our host, to continue his hosting. But thank you everybody for listening. Thank you, children. Thank you, Clinton and Elvis, who are here today. Thank you to the people who listen to this and ask us questions on the YouTube page. Send us your questions by email. At the end of this presentation, you'll see even our phone number, so you can text us your questions on WhatsApp, and there'll be someone who will attend to the questions. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much, Abda. Thank you so much for this very insightful conversation. A very good reminder that there's so much we can do during our holidays besides the besides certain cliche things, because the world is constantly evolving and it's very important to stay up to date. I think while listening to the conversation, something that struck me was, her response to the person who asks, I think it's Deborah, how do we convince our parents? And I think that if we put our feet in the shoes of our parents, it might be easier. There might be no silver bullets because parents are different. but it's just looking at the parents want to know that, oh, this person knows what he's doing and is doing their best. I think that many parents will be impressed that we want to go out of the way. We're not doing it because we want to escape or because we just want to have fun, but because we want to learn, because we realize that there's only so much we can get from theoretical experience. We need to, as they say in touch grass, feel the earth. All right. So yeah, so let's just, as long as you put up a serious front, I think that's the best you can do, and just keep on nudging them. Ultimately, they will yield. There might be only so much they can do, because these things there might be some financial implications or some trade-offs, especially if they have to follow you or take you there. But I think that there would always be a middle ground. There's something can be done. They don't have to take you to London, but at least they can take you to somewhere, even within whatever city you are in, or even just organize things, right? So yeah, whatever it is what I'm learning. Whatever is done is what it's right. It adds value. All right, so we'll come to the end of this session, but we have, like we said, every 2 weeks. So this is just to give you a sense of what we have coming up. So if there's anything that you think interests you or interests someone you can always just say, hey, I have this event is coming up sometime next month, sometime in June, sometime in July. Yeah, Samuel, I can see your hand up. Is that new or old?
Yeah, it's new. I actually have a question.
Okay. I'm with you.
Okay, so yeah, so my question is how about kids who like they're done with secondary school and they don't they are not really passionate about school again. All they just want to do is focus on their talents and just do business, and there's so much energy and passion they put into that business. So and like they have parents that are concerned about them going to school. So what's the best decision you think the child should take at that point?
I have my thoughts, but I mean, we have a speaker for a reason. Right. I can still add to it, but I think I would give the speaker the audience to speak. Yeah. You might be muted.
Okay, thank you for throwing me into the deep end. So no, I think the way to think about this is, first of all, why are your parents concerned? Many times, again, like Daniel said, your parents are not, they're not trying to be wicked. They're not trying to, be difficult. They're just trying to make sure that as much as possible, you're secure for the future. You're financially stable for the future. Okay. If you're not passionate about education, but you're passionate about business, first of all, there is actually education targeted to even doing business. There are business courses, there are those types of entrepreneurship, depending on the university, maybe not as much in Nigeria, but there are those types of things. Okay. But I think the second thing to say is, what type of support system and what type of mentorship system do you have in place? Okay. So you want to do business in XYZ thing. Have you calculated what those costs will be, what the implication of that will be, and what again your future would look like with that? Okay. It's important to make some of those types of calculations. I was listening the other day to and this is not me endorsing anybody, but I was listening, I won't mention names. I was listening the other day to a very famous musician that everybody knows. He's seen to be very successful already, but he said his parents insisted he went to school to study even music. And why? Because that's a fallback plan. School is 3 years, 4 years, okay, maybe depending on what happens in Nigeria, 5, 6 years at most, okay? You come out, you have a fallback plan. So that bad as it be, okay, you have something else to do, okay? That's one thing. But secondly, it's not by force to go to school. It's not every, there are people who never went to school, but are deeply successful. But I think one thing that is important is, I know people say, oh, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg did not go to university. Mark Zuckerberg invented an app. Are you on that path to doing something so groundbreaking, or is it the normal? What type of business is it? Basically, that's the point. What type of trajectory are you on? And that's when it makes a difference. So don't be quick to knock down education or whatever. See it as, okay, it's not my major passion, but it's a good fallback plan if anything happens. And I have a friend who currently works in in fact, this was also spoken about by our speaker last time, that she wanted to be an actress. So left to her, there were some types of courses she should have done, or some types of trainings, instead of the whole traditional, going to school. But her parents insisted. She went to UI, did geography, graduated with excellent grades, first class, and now she's doing what she loves to do. But during that time, she made sure that she was, taking classes, doing activities around. I think the way to think about this is, number one, if you have parents who push you and insist, then you don't have an option. But number two, even if they tell you, okay, do what you want, are you completely confident of that path? If you're completely confident, then it's a choice you've made, and you pursue it to the end. You get mentors. And when I say mentors, I think sometimes we think of mentors as those people we handshake, and we say, oh no, do you have someone that someone who can give advice, someone who is in that field, a similar field, who can give advice, who can support you? There are people who never went to school, but you speak to them and they tell you, oh, you know what, if I had the opportunity, I'll do things differently, because these are some limitations here and there due to not going to school. Another thing to see school as, and I say this a lot, school is an excellent place to network. If not for any reason, even if you say, oh, I'm studying XYZ course and I'm just here, in reality, I want to do business. I cannot explain to you how important your network is. Okay, you say you want to do business, you want to be a fashion person, you want to do music, whatever. There are people that you meet in school who one phone call, who one conversation with them is the difference between going from here to there. Okay, there is no other institution in the world, not even in church or other religious bodies, where you have as much time to network, to meet people, and to grow with people, to be friendly with people in a way that that it benefits your life for the future. I say this a lot, that when I was in university, I wish I was more friendly, because I'm a very introverted person. I'm very quiet. I'm not quiet. If you know me, I'm not quiet. But if I don't know you, I tend to just, stay back and not speak a lot. I wish I did. I wish I was in that. And that's why many of these things I'm saying, there may be some things I've done for myself, but also it's something that I wish I knew better and I would have done better. Okay. So if not for anything, maybe, and if your parents insist or all of that, maybe see school as an opportunity to grow your network, to grow your skills, to grow your expertise in some things, to grow your interest. It's not compulsory that you come out and you have to practice that thing, but you just have to know what opportunity will school afford me in this regard, and you do that. So yeah, Daniel, I'm going to hand over to you. Those are my many thoughts, but yeah, what are your thoughts as well on this?
Thank you very much. That's why you're a speaker. Very excellent points raised. I mean, so it's like she said, parents are concerned about one thing, how you end up, and the fact that you do better. So, and when it comes to, I think people can be a little bit more patient, right? So, yes, you want to jump into it, but everybody really learns. It's just how you go about learning, right? Someone will learn what people learned in school in a seminar or through an article online or through a YouTube video, right? So, my point is the school you are on, the learning, you will learn it in that way because ultimately, like nobody comes with, you don't come with preloaded memory of how to do these things. You might have a rough sense, but as you go up, there are many technicalities. As you get more, as you grow, there's more that to business than just how far you want buy or something like that, right? Or yeah, there's so many things. If you want to start selling to international clients, like that you want to hire people, right? So I think that if you have people that care, I mean, why not? Nobody's saying you should come up. You want that, but nobody's saying you should come up top of class. Just do your just do your best and just flute, but still get something. And I think, like she said, yeah. So we might undermine this, but you people that could change your life, or people that families that could change your life or help foster your mission. You meet your co-founders, your partners through school. So I mean, it's cool that you would think that the school is just for the learning is important, but in some cases, some people have gone through certain programs and what they found most valuable are the people they met than even the school, than the curriculum, right? So I think that there's no there's a need to be cautious around being in a hurry, because there's a lot online. But really, like everybody learns, everybody makes mistakes. It'll be better if you make yours while you're, what's the word now, still upcoming. And yes, people want to like make it big and blah, but then that puts you under more scrutiny, right? And the stakes are now higher. So, and there's also a thing around like maturity and getting wiser and smarter. So I think that either ways, I don't see how the person will lose. There's a need to be patience. In some extreme cases, I mean, sure, ditch. But I think that's more of an extreme case. You can always meet a compromise. Okay, I'll go to school, but I want to study this, right? Because I like it at least, right? And while you're at that, you can be doing your stuff by the side, just trying to do the barest minimum to, I know excellence is a thing, but just pass, right, while you're doing that. And when you're done, everybody's happy. It also shows you that you can do more than what you think because it stretches you. But you know, even if you give 4 years, I don't think we'll still be fine. Like this life is not by the race is not to the swift. So some people seems like they move very fast, and you know, life tends to just put us where we are meant to be and humbles people oftentimes. So I would just all of that join, mix it, and then take it in. Whichever one applies will come to the surface. But I know this is a very nuanced situation. So I'm sure we'll find wisdom in all of this. All right.
Sorry, just to add something quite quickly. Okay, Amara, we will give you the floor in a bit. Just to add something quite quickly. There's this Igbo system of entrepreneurship called, Daniel, we can see your chat. There's this system of entrepreneurship called Mwaboy, right? And for many years, the Igbos did it, and it was an Igbo thing, you know. So these Nwa boys did not need to go to school. They basically just had, you can almost call it like as an intense mentorship, you know. They were serving under someone who was established in that field, and they were learning. I think 5, 6, 7 years ago, Harvard has put that under its curriculum as one of the most successful and long-lasting ways of creating business, one of the most sustainable business creation models, okay? Why am I saying this? Not everyone needs to get formal education. That is completely true. But don't be too, I think many times as young people, we are also very we're overconfident. We overestimate our own knowledge and what we think we know. Don't be too quick to, or don't overestimate it, you know. Take time if possible. If, let's say, you're completely sure academics is not for me, I struggled enough in secondary school, I cannot even do this again in uni, I'm very sure my heart, the Holy Spirit has revealed, no problem. Do you have, when I speak about mentorship, do you have that type of very structured support? Okay. Do you have many people who grow in skills? You know, for example, there's going to be a conversation. I think Daniel will actually speak about it, an upcoming event. How important is formal education? We are going to speak about it in 2 weeks. So please make sure you're there. But the second part of that is, okay, you're not pursuing formal education. That's okay. What is the informal structure you have to excel in that business? Okay. People who taught themselves coding, one of the guys on the platform who is going to be speaking did not have a formal education in terms of university, but he spent 6 years teaching himself and learning coding and programming. There is no shortcut. That's what Daniel said. If you don't learn it in school, you learn it somewhere. You have to spend that time learning. Okay, you want to do fashion business. Okay, you think you can sew. Sewing doesn't qualify you to own a fashion business. That is just one part of it. Go for almost an Nwa boy entrepreneurship, apprenticeship system under someone. Learn the nitty-gritties of sewing, but more than learning those nitty-gritties, learn how to do business, customer relations. I say it a lot in Nigeria. Customer relation is so poor. You order something from someone, before you know it, they start insulting you. Did I beg? You know, because everybody thinks they can do business. I can bake cake, I start business. Nobody sits down to think about customer relations. How do I speak to a client? You know, I say it a lot. I'm very pedantic about some things. The way a client, though, if I want to order something even from Instagram, the way they respond to me, hello, thank you, all those things, it makes a big difference if I come back or not. In fact, there's a way someone will speak to me, I'm like, never, I'm not buying again. But these are things that you don't learn just because you know how to sew or you know how to bake or because you know how to do whatever business. You learn based on observing. You see how clients are, client retention. You see how to go above and beyond in business. And you see what it takes to, hopefully the person you're shadowing has 20, 30, 50 years in business. You see what it means for them to have done it, you know, and you ask questions. Be honest to say, okay, did you get an education? Do you think it was a waste? Is there anything? Again, we have the actress Uche who said many of the things she learns in school, she brings it to bear even in her acting. Okay, so I think it's that thing where learning does not have to be formal, for sure. Yes, you don't have to go to university. It's okay, but be open to knowing that why university is good is that it's structured. You know, there's a structure. You go from here to there to there. With informal, you throw yourself into it. It's not structured, but you have to give however number of years. If someone learned programming on his own for 6 years, if he went to university in Nigeria, 4 or 5 years, he would have been out. But doing it on his own, 6 years before he got there, there is no compromise for that learning. There's no compromise for excellence. And if anything, if you have the opportunity, if it's not that it's a financial constraint, I'm the first child, my parents were able to train, we've just managed, I cannot put them through that burden, all of those. If it's not all of that, then see education as an opportunity to grow your network. I say this a lot, I cannot emphasize the importance of it, but it's invaluable, okay? So I hope that supports as well. Amara, please go ahead.
Hi.
Hi, Amara. Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Amara. I'm a guy. I just wanted to bring some contributions to the table. I was referred to this program by Debbie, and so far so good. I've enjoyed a lot of the conversations and the memo that is being put out here, what you guys are trying to do. I love it. So I want to contribute to the question that Samuel asked. You have said it all, literally, both speakers, what you've said and what the other guy had said. You've really answered it, but I just want to buttress on what both of you have said. So the truth is, in life, we are always learning. We learn constantly, both consciously and unconsciously. You don't just come into the life and then you know how to do everything you're doing. There's a phase. You go through that phase from the childhood phase to the adolescent phase to the adulthood. You learn at each stage. So you might have um, these emotions and these thoughts process in your mind that you want to do business and you're probably good at it. Sorry, I forgot to add this. I'm not actually a student. I'm done with school. So I just wanted to see how much I can learn from the program as well. So moving on, um, you would want to understand certain things. Yeah, you finish secondary school, you're thinking of university, might not be useful, and then you want to do business because you're probably good at selling. That's really good. But the truth is, there is how to do business. There's how to do everything. You cannot just go and say, okay, I know how to advertise, I know how to sell, I know how to draw customers. Do you know how to manage the business? Do you know how to maintain it on the long run? Do you know how to retain customers? There are a lot of components into all of these things. So school is not totally out of place in learning these certain things. You might want to do business. Then you can also channel your energy into taking courses that can support your business career, that can support you in that line. Something like that has to do with maybe marketing. I don't know the courses in particular, but you can do certain research. And one thing I wanted to add is learn how to research. I think that's a very important thing in that everybody needs to have, researching skills. It's as simple as going to Google, type it in, anything, just anything you want to know. It's online, it's out there. So I would like to urge you, Samuel, to learn how to research. Even when you want to do your business, learn how to research. But school is also very important and it should not be totally ruled out because there are so many opportunities out there. Just like the speaker said, networking is one core opportunity that most people don't really know. You need to know how to reach out to people when you are in school because it's a place of opportunities more than just learning, right? That's the whole idea of school. You meet people, you connect with other people that are doing similar things so that you are not all doing it all on your own, and then you are advancing in what you're doing. So the point of what I'm trying to say is as much as you have a passion for something and you want to go fully into that thing, but then school is in the way, you have to look at the phase of life where you are. You don't just jump into one particular phase because if you skip this particular phase of your life, one way or the other, you will come back to come and learn it in a way that may not seem like the way you should have gone at the initial instant. So understand the phase where you are, try to focus on what you can learn at that phase, and then you'll be able to go faster in whatever you want to achieve. So I guess that's just what I wanted to add to what the speakers have said. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Amara, thank you so much. All right, I think we've said a lot to that question. It's very insightful. We're just going to try to wrap this up. So we have a couple of upcoming sessions. Our next event on the 8th of July is going to be one on design and animation. So tell your friends you're interested, you will love to learn about this, right? So that's that. And afterwards we have somewhat something similar to what we just discussed about how important formal education is in this world today. It matters, but how well does it matter? We have three well-versed persons like doing well in different fields: law, technology, business, right? So you would love to be a part of this. This is on the 22nd of June. Then preparing for university, those who are at that level, I think someone spoke SS3, right? This awesome. Meriting, this is just a personal journey on people sharing their journeys. And I didn't know that there was a thing until I saw, I didn't even know that there's a thing called internal medicine, all right? So, I mean, I'm just hearing it. So it's not a thing where even older people, we get to learn things that we didn't know exist. There are so many careers and so many paths that you can't keep up these days, right? While some are going away, new ones are coming up. Parental influence in choosing careers. I mean, someone that asked, I think it was their brother, asked about parents and their influence and convincing them. I know it was about the holidays, but well, you get to learn one or two things, how these different persons were able to actually deal with different issues at home, because we all come from different homes where there are different thresholds for career paths, right? So some parents say, oh, this is what you must do, while others parents are like, do this and this. You get, and it's just different, right? So then we have this content creation and writing. It's a lot to learn from here. We all think, sometimes we think writing is just because we can all write in school. We all write every now and then, we text people, but learn it too. What makes it different? Chika will be happy. Acting. I don't know if anybody wants to act, but if you have a friend that's interested, or you just want to learn what it's like, right? This could form part of actually opening your mind, talking to new people, like our speaker said. Like, so this could be it, because you can come ask questions. So maybe you only see actors and actresses on TV, and you're like, oh, come here, you get to talk to an actress and ask the questions that your burning questions that you have. I think that's it. Yeah, so those are the events we have coming up. Keep your eyes tuned, or just keep following us on social media. We'll keep on tweaking it based on feedback. There will be a lot of interest. If you think there's something, a conversation you think we should have, please feel free to send us a message, a mail saying, oh, I would love to learn about this. So if you have questions, we are happy to actually create the avenue, get someone, get a resource person and make it happen. So we are relying on the feedback of the community to keep on making this very helpful and useful to everyone. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It's been awesome. We've all learned from each other, and I believe that we'll go back living our lives a bit different. So we'll make use of our holidays and our breaks better. Thank you so much. Till next month. See you then. All right. Bye. All right. So social media handles, follow, WhatsApp. All right.